Welcome to my stream. This is called Gwenting to Rank. So today hopefully we're going to get to rank 10 and at the end of it we're going to be opening some cakes to see what we get. So hello, welcome, and I guess we're going to get going. Yes. So we're going to play New God. I'm going to try to explain how we go from here, and then we also have a monster deck here which is actually relatively reliable as well. So let's have some fun, let's get some going and see if we can get some of these challenges gone. And in the stream you'll also hear my friend Neo Bahamut.
Hello guys.
He's also playing it, and I'm sure he'll end up starting up the stream as well, so feel free to go and say hello to him. Right. See, it wasn't a horrible entrance, Ben. It was better than my Destiny one. Hello, person watching. Right, so we are playing quite possibly a Dwarf deck here, so this should be fun. My matchups are okay against this. I do tend to go off fairly well. So we got Scorch.
Right, I may have cocked up because, of course, I started just in time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neo Bahamut 101. Welcome to the live stream. We're doing a GWENT game with my mate Mickey Kempson.
Hello.
If you want to join him, he's got a channel on YouTube as well. Feel free to join him. And here we go. Right.
Okay, so
that's. Oh, sorry to disturb you, Mickey, but that's really fun. I've literally just played one card and the guy has passed.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to drop my Nilfgaard Knight this turn, giving me 10 points plus 2 armor on the field, and that should force at least 2 cards to be played out of his hand.
Ah, I can't be asked.
So, come on. Let's see.
Drop it now. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, the basic rule of this game is the same as Witcher 3, the Gwent on there. Highest numbers win, but they have made a few changes in order to balance the game significantly. So it's actually playable in a competitive manner. Kind of competitive. But this is only a beta right now, so a lot of things are subject to change. And hello person that's just turned onto the stream.
And I'd like to point out I've just found a glitch.
Oh god, what have you done, Ben?
Right, my opponent had an Earth Elemental, so I have played Savage Bear, which deals 1 damage whenever a character is played. Basically, he then plays Celerio Harpy, which brings out 2 copies of Harpy eggs. But all of a sudden, 2 lesser Earth Elementals have just spawned at the same time.
Mahakam wasn't built in a day.
So if anyone from Gwent is actually watching this, there's your first glitch.
And now Nero Bahamut, he's going to be taking full advantage of that at any given time. So this gentleman... So I'm going to play this gentleman here. Hopefully he's going to take some further... There we go. A little bit of value adding. Removing something into the grave, which I will be playing against him later. But as you can see, my opponent is currently at 7 cards, I'm at 6. I'm hoping he's going to pass here, forcing a draw. Because if he does, then I have everything I need to hopefully go off on the next turn. But the problem when you're playing dwarves is you are staring at a nice big risk. And from what I can tell, the background noise is a little high, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that until I get to the settings. I'm sorry people, I'm trying. Right, So, I'm going to play Scorch this turn, because on my next turn, chances are my deck's going to go off a little heavier than it should, meaning I'm probably going to look at my own Scorch card. Come on. Do it! Do something! Sir, I might be here. But I promise you something, I'm impatient. Play your turn! Play it!
Double hollow!
Oh, darn it. So, the symbols with the little wood bars and the fists on, this means it's going to stay on the field next turn. Which is going to inherently probably come back to bite me in the bum, but... what I can do is this, throwing my gentleman here up by 10 points. But right now. And then this is when I turn around and he's played his gold, so I'm going to pass. He can have this first round and hopefully I'll be able to take the next two. Although we are currently even on cards because he played his heroes, so we might be alright. I doubt it. Because he's on 12 points on board, and this Iron Golem is, well, Imperial Golem, sorry, is something I'd prefer not to have in my hand. There we are. So,
Everything alright?
as you can see, my opponent's starting and he's already powering up his field. So I'm going to play that. Three golems, get something straight out, get my hero, and hopefully I do not get what I want. But I'm going to play a Virotic Medic. That's going to give me access to any bronze in the grave, and at this point I'm going to be playing my Ambassador, dropping it on my opponent's side of the field, and I'm going to be powering up a golem on the front row.
Everything alright?
Now if he actually had the ability to power up my Ambassador here, he would have slowed me down ever so slightly, but it still has given me access to do that. Which is fun. Very fun. I mean, I'll play the manga now in case of a mirror match, because it is a nice way of punishing the spies, and it does tend to slow my opponent down a turn or two. But my hand hasn't been amazing, and I'm currently getting punished quite significantly.
The Nordlings' hatred for us
fun.
Right, if anyone's interested, as you can see on my screen, I have two Priestess of Freya. Now, the difference between these two, one is animated, one is not. That is called a premium card. You can still only hold 3 cards the same name in your deck. So I couldn't run 3 Priests of Freya common and 3 Priests of Freya premium. So I'm going to play one of mine now. And of course, I go for my Skirmisher. And then pass it to my opponent.
Okay, so as you can see, I just won this round by a 9-point difference. So I'm going to pass here, maintaining my hand. I'm hoping to get something tasty on my next turn. I'm most likely going to mulligan my manga now. One of the two I now have, because they're not exactly useful to me, so we'll make that disappear. And this isn't looking particularly good for me, but what we will do, I'm going to drop a manga now. As you can see, me and my opponent will be relatively fine, and that is a major issue. Okay, cool, thank you.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
A shame I have no
swivel here. Get my knight.
Order will triumph! It must triumph!
I mean, I could ideally have gone something slightly better if I had my manga now out. I may have been laughing, but... And that is my opponent's game due to the swallow potion, which I then choked on. Great, so first game goes to my opponent.
GG.
Yep, GG.
Right, over on my field at the moment, my opponent is winning by 10 points. But with my deck, I have a little trick up my sleeve. I now summon Gemist. Gemist is one of the very few cards that allow you to basically create a copy of that card out of thin air. So I could play the Impenetrable Fog, Clear Skies, or he has Blood-Curdling Roar, which allows me to turn my Priestess of Freya into a Raging Bear. I now am at 47 to his 43, and we both have 2 cards left. Let's see how this goes.
Right, so I've just switched over to my monster deck, and by the name, I think you can pretty much guess what it's basically designed for. This is a Swarming Devour deck, for lack of a better description, and it looks like I am having a match against essentially an elemental deck. So, this is quite possibly the worst matchup I could have hoped for, but you never know, might get lucky. Miracles have happened.
Alright, it comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, my opponent has 50, I have 53. I'll put my Priestess of Freya just to finish this game off. It's not because I want to absolutely massacre. I actually played a game yesterday and accidentally found out I misplayed. I will just play the last 11 points and I will send a well played to my opponent. And I will also send a GG, since this was a fairly decent game.
So what you just saw here, I used my Drowner here to pull away the Wild Hunt Rider. This is going to stop him from activating the trio ability, causing me a lot of points next turn. But I'm also going to start the initial setup now. As you can see, he's got 7 here, so if I was to play my Scorch here, then we would break even and I would ultimately lose, but I can start a basic setup for the next turn.
Resistance is futile.
As you can tell, my opponent is probably going to give me a fair amount of jip here, but it's one of those things, there's nothing I can do about it, I mean. But this is the time I will play Scorch, because he loses 14 points, I will lose 7, that gives me a 4-point lead. I think he's angry with me. Oh, awesome.
Sorry about that. Just a quick second to check my settings. Right, before I actually go on to playing any more, let's just check out my deck build so people can understand what is actually in my balances. As I can see, young Mickey is having fun against his mirror match opponent.
Yep. Great fun.
Alright, as you can see, currently I run 1 Savage Bear, 3 Raging Berserkers, 2 Skirmishers, a Cleaver. The main card in this deck is Moorcap Fag. He is great. He is great with the hero card that I run, because my hero will bring him straight from my deck, power him by 3, weaken him by 1, but because he had 11 strength initially, whenever he goes to the graveyard, he will return with a basic strength of 8 again. So it really helps set up long-term strength.
Any
I
last
have Yennefer, which you saw when I first played. My opponent pretty much gave up straight away, mainly because she will do 1 damage to the highest enemy on the opponent's side of the field every turn. Combine that with my Savage Bear, you start doing a lot of damage.
Told you.
Nice one, Mickey.
No, I told you Yennefer was almost an auto-win, sir. I do warn you. Right, so I've got... This hand isn't perfect, but as you can tell, I am at a major disadvantage here, so... This is always fun. Carry on, Ben, sorry.
Nice card. Right, I run Elma, again, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. This allows me to get rid of my skirmishes in hand faster. Skirmishes gains 3 strength whenever they are sent to the graveyard, so that's the whole idea. Again, 2 basic gold cards, because I do not own any of the other ones. Trish is a must-have in nearly any deck, and Garland at the moment, mainly because it's the only gold I own. This little combo here of the Drumard Shield Maidens, really good fun. If you can weaken one of your opponent's monsters quickly, you can do 2 damage. If it's damaged, do another 2. If it's damaged again, do another 2. This is also a viable target for smacking your Raging Berserkers. As long as you do damage to a Raging Berserker, they become a bear card, which has 11 strength and has no abilities. They are really strong. Last up, like I said before, 3 Priests of Freya, 1 animated, 2 common. I have my Borgvar Archers. These guys do 1 damage to 3 units. I have my Gemist again, one of the few mages in this game. Really good card to own if you're playing Skeleton. Also, the last hero is Holgen Blackhand. He will deal 5 damage to a target. If he destroys the target, he strengthens it another highest target in my graveyard by 3. Excuse me. As for ability cards, I run 2 First Lights on the advice of Mickey. Basically, I never used to play these, and I've started playing it mainly now thanks to his advice. They come in really handy. I run 2 Torrent Rains, mainly for clearing up like the lower mobs. Demetrium Shackles. These are really handy. If you have an opposing hero who basically has a huge power boost, like you saw in the last game, that Kraken went from a level 10 card to a level 25 in 1 turn.
Which is very scary. That's almost game winning, by the way, guys.
It is. If you play Demetrium Shackles, not only do you lock that card, it demotes the actual card's colour to gold, to silver, which means that you can basically target that card.
Humans have no place in Broccolon.
And hello to our first stream friends. Right. Next up, I run Mad Room. Basically, this is a really good card. It works really well with Demetrium Shackles. If something's boosted itself so strong that they think they're going to win off that and it's gold, you play Demetrium Shackles.
And spot destruction to death.
Exactly. Play this little bad boy. It can either give your hero a reset and then +3, or what I like to do is use spores, which basically does reset on your opponent's character and then -3. So if, let's say your opponent plays a doo-doo. Not many people do.
It's Dodo, sir, not doo-doo. It's Dodo.
Doo-doo, Dodo. A lot of people call it doo-doo because it is a doo-doo card.
It is. I mean, I have great fun taking it out, but as you can see, I have my Yennefer here, so as my friend here, Neil, was talking about earlier, this card is absolutely amazing. But I'm also going to stick some Ross out on my opponent's side of the board. On this turn, oh actually, boop, nope. I'm going to do my opponent's spine now to get the power up. On next turn, I'm going to drop a Rot Tosser on my opponent's back line there, up on the artillery line, and that will deal with everything he's got there.
Nice one, sir. Nice one. Right, as I said, put the chains on someone. Use Spore. It will put their character back to the original attack of that character, and then decrease it by 3. That is a great combo, and it's a great way of shutting down any particular heroes who are basically OP themselves. Next card I have, which
sorry Ben, OPing? Does that mean they're overpowered or they can't control themselves? Because I'm sure there's a nappy cards in this card game somewhere.
No, it is literally overpowered, mate.
Oh, so you're not on about the legendary card Yennefer's Sanitary Pad?
No, I'm not, Mickey. Right,
you sure?
One card I have suggested to Mickey, and I hope he gets it so you can see how powerful it is. It is called Skeleton Storm. It's another weather card, and it's silver. Basically, this card puts on one row a horrible storm that will do 3, 2, and 1, starting from right to left. Now, people have worked out how to get around this card. If they put a gold card on the furthest end of that actual row, the gold card will take 3 damage, but it takes 0 damage because it's got a promoted effect. Therefore, only the 2 and the 1 effect will hit in. That's if they know about that little technique. I've noticed a lot of people don't think about where they're placing their card. They just put it on that row. So this card is a really good card to get. And of course, as Mickey said earlier on about Scorch, we have to play at least one. This card has helped me in the past so many times. But
and
again,
FYI to anyone with multiple copies of Scorch, it isn't worth playing more than one. Because 9 times out of 10, when you're on a roll, it's going to burn you out faster than your opponents. Because with a very limited card pool at the moment for most players, you need to be aware of the fact that not everyone has everything. And if you've been putting money into the game, like some people, myself and Neo included, then it will come back to bite you in the butt. And
yes,
take a chunk.
Scorch has burnt me in so many occasions because you do not realise until you've accidentally misplayed it that it takes out your character instead of the one you wanted it to. At the end of the day, there are cards that actually create Scorch, so have one Scorch card and have one of those cards. That will give you the cover that you need.
Okay, but as you can see, sorry to interrupt you, Ben, this card back here in the Scoreless Hell deck is an ambush card. So it's going to be triggered to look like a trap card in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or an instance out of Magic Gathering. So when we commit to something, it's probably going to come back and bite us right in the bum, in the worst possible way. And yeah, that's great. But as you can see, I have access to my grave, and yeah, boop. I will take full advantage of smashing my own spine in the face using my opponent's power to it. So right now, what I'm trying to do, I don't mind losing this second round here, because as you can tell, I've essentially got 2 hero effects. I've got my hero and Kahir here, who will clone my hero. So, anyway then, I'll leave you to finish what you say.
Well, I've just started up a fresh game, and straight off the bat, I have Morkvag in hand. Now, basically, you do not want him in hand. Get rid of him as soon as possible. Because at the end of the day, he gains strength from your hero, not from your hand. Just see if there's anyone else I wish to get rid of. Range change. That is not a bad hand to start with. Now, one thing I did notice whilst Mickey was playing that, a good counter to the medic is the Savage Bear. Its effect kicks in, and it will basically stop your opponent dead, because it's basically hits the monster, hits the character before it goes onto the field, so it doesn't get a chance to use its effect to get into the graveyard. If I get a chance to show you on this one, then I will, but my opponent has just used this card. I choose one and place it at the bottom of the deck. Okay, fair enough. So I know what the next 2 cards are going to get. Let's see if I can see what he wants.
A shame I had no time.
Okay. So another shield maiden. Okay, right. So first of all, get rid of my skirmisher. And multiple shield maidens aren't that great at the moment. It's now my opponent's turn. How are you getting on?
It's looking positive. Depending on what my opponent has here, I should be able to take back this game relatively well. Yeah.
Damn it. Good to it. Right. Let's see. As you see, I've just played my downpour. That's now going to do 2 damage to the strongest or weakest unit on the field, if I'm rightly.
Strongest, sir.
To the lowest.
Oh, lowest.
It's penetrable performance strongest, and downpour is weakest. The idea is, if I could suddenly make that 5 cost
Humans
card
have no
3.
place in
Then
Broccolon.
both of them will get hit because they're both equal in strength. So what I'm going to do now, since I can do this, I'll play my first Shield Maiden. Damage that guy. Then do it again on the other one. So I know, as you just saw, first rampart went down. Okay, so I literally took a lot of damage there because he revealed 3 cards in my hand and his rampart.
Right, and as you can see, this is a draw. When it's a draw, each person will get 1 round point. When my opponent didn't actually have the time to take the game, then I got a draw, which are giving me 2 points towards my first 6 rounds won of today. And so I get 15 scraps towards that win. Then I'm slowly leveling up to 10, as you can tell. I'm halfway there. Living on a breath. Anyway. But yeah, so what I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be switching between my monsters and my midgard. Just to keep things interesting, and maybe in a bit we will stick together another deck, just for some giggles. See how badly we can do. But as you can tell, we are currently 2 losses to 1 win, which isn't great, but it's something.
I forgive you.
Oh, there we go. And chances are I'm going to be playing against something very similar to the deck I was playing on the last game, which you'd think would give me an advantage, but I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, so this should be fun. As you can see with my hand, I've got Agent Foglet, 2 Earth Elementals, Ekimara, Arcus Selenial Harpy, First Light Scorch, and 2 Impenetrable Fog. Now, considering Ben plays a very similar deck to my monster deck, he can quite happily turn around and say what kind of level of a hand this is. It's a mid to strong, depending on my opponents. But if my opponent actually has a large supply of medics, has the full set, which, by the way guys, if you're having trouble getting cards, just remember you can use scraps to clone a card, and I would highly suggest doing it on your first stack, and then you can go from there. But as you've probably seen before, between my Earth Elemental, my Selenial Harpy and my Arcus, I actually have a very, very strong start available to me. Strong in the sense that I can pretty much throw my first round here, giving me a easier access to the second, but I'm playing a risk here. Once again, as you saw with my deck, he can abuse the stuff in my graveyard very easily, so this is something I'm going to have to be aware of. But look, it's a moving first light, guys. Moving first light. So, as you can tell, my opponent here, the symbol here on underneath the power is turn 2 stars, summon a copy of discards any row, which I can't do anything against, which is wonderful. But we're going to see where he puts that card, and then we're going to move accordingly. But right now, it's more important that we actually play our game than let our and then deal with what comes out. And if we can get a win in this round, we will take it. But ideally, like I said, not what we're after right now. We're after a setup to a strong game 2, and my opponent having to overplay, so round 3 is relatively safe for me.
Right. Now, on my field at the moment, I have 2 Raging Berserkers, I have my lovely Werewolf, and my opponent has literally just played his Rot Toss. Now, normally, Rot Toss is a really effective card. There are ways of getting around it. Basically, it will
the easiest way to deal with a Rot Toss is Frozen Chump to the shark.
That is one way, Mickey. Or, I have my 2 Raging Berserkers on the field. If I play my Archer, I can do 1 damage to the Rot Toss, 1 damage to each Berserker, and I will basically destroy the Rot Toss and gain 2 bears at level 11 each. My opponent's playing his last card. Absolutely fine. You've knocked me down for a bit. That's absolutely fine. Now I'll play my Priest of Faya. Replay my Skirmisher.
Oh, it's my turn. Oops.
which I shouldn't have done that. I should have brought what's his name out. So now I have to play my last card.
Yes.
If I want to at least get one round.
So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm just going to gradually pass with this 12-point lead. Yep, there we go. Maybe I shouldn't play my Selenium. There you are. So, as you can see, my field is now just formed up, giving me access to my hero. It's in hand, I have First Light, Penetrable Fog, Demetrium Shackles, Arcus, Ekimara, Ancient Foglet, and a Drowner, meaning I'm going to be dragging his most valuable non-goal target into my fog. Ideally. It probably won't work out that way because I'm really impatient and I like to play everything straight away, but we're going to see what happens.
Right, and I'm on my last round. I have my lovely werewolf at front, and I've just mulliganed my hand. I've just got my Priestess of Freya, which is brilliant. Now I can replay my skirmisher again because he went to the graveyard. He gains another 3. He's now 14. So my opponent must at least get a score of 21 to win or 20 to draw.
Right, so as you can see, this is a rot toss on my opponent's side of the field. It's a cow carcass. Now I'm going to show you the most easiest way to deal with this. You eat the rotting cow. You have a nice little beef sarnie. There we go. That's eaten, and that's eaten. And I'm going to keep my Ekimara on the field in case it does go to round 3 because the resilience will be a godsend. So yep, that was essentially it. That's one of the easier ways to deal with a cow carcass. You just eat it. It's a nice little hamburger. Can't complain. It's the same as eating at McDonald's.
No.
It's probably fresher.
You shall regret standing in my way.
It is if you're undead.
And as you can tell, my opponent's actually starting to care with what I'm playing here. I very much doubt he's expecting the impenetrable fog, but admittedly I did only play...
A highly curious case.
No. Now, I have no idea how that thing's an 11, but let's find out. So, where's this fire? Dude, that is so my harpy. You can't go nicking my harpy. That's rude. So Demetrium Shackles is going to get played on that thing. I just fucked that road.
Novice mistake.
Novice mistake. Novice mistake. I'll have you know, sir, I'm the biggest of noobs. Dang it. Do I want to take this into round 3? That is actually the big question.
Looking at it, your opponent is trying to force you into round 3.
I'm automatically at a big disadvantage here anyway, so I might just have to take this into round 3. Gaining these 12 points is going to be more of an issue than anything else. But my fog should actually deal with those harpy eggs, meaning I won't actually have to stare down my monster on the next turn. Ideally, I don't think it's going to, because all he has to do is end his turn. There we go. That sucks.
Right, okay guys, let me just show you this little trick. My opponent has just played
Novice
Wild Hunter and Lithril. Any frost deck, play this card. It does 2 points of damage for every frost damage on Biting Frost, instead of 1.
Just gonna mention, guys, that's a silver card, so if you do try to clone it, that will bite you in the balls. That's an expensive card to regain.
But it's also one card you get for free in the start deck, so Right, I've just really hurt that card with my Marigold.
Novice mistake.
Waiting, yep, there it goes, there's the Biting Frost. I knew that was coming. Now the reason I knew that was coming, because basically all I need to do now is play...
You might find this shocking.
No, I find out it's a Selenial Harpy, and with the cards in my deck, I should easily be able... Well, it's looking like I've lost this round, but my opponent's annoyed me with his sarky little comment, so I'm going to waste as much of his time as possible because I'm that way inclined.
A shame I have no time.
Sir, it's your turn. You have a move. What are you going to do?
You might find this shocking.
Alright, so this is an amazing
shame I
ability,
have
guys.
no
What you can do,
time.
you can mute your opponent. It's great.
Hail Kerzer!
Now I don't have to hear him.
Right, here we go. Now I know my opponent's got his Wild Hunt Hound at 3 and he's got his Wild Hunt Warrior at 7. I'm going to do him a favour. I'm going to put a Raging Storm on his front row. As you can see, the Wild Hunt Hound took 3 damage whilst his Warrior took 2.
You'll know you explain how that works?
This card wrecks when it comes to multiple lethal forces.
So I'm not going to send good game because my opponent was rude. But if he sends me one, I will send him one back. We'll give him about 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Right, my opponent... right. One thing we didn't say, you see that timer on my screen now. It's countdown from 30 to 0. If you do not make a move within the 30-second time limit,
Bye-bye
you drop
card.
a card from your hand.
Which I actually done on the start of my turn last game. If people didn't notice, which kind of put me at a 3-card disadvantage by round 2. It sucks, guys.
Also, just as a pre-warning, this also has a negative effect. If you do it again next round, it's 20 seconds. If you do it again next round, it's 10 seconds.
I forgive you.
And you go for your hand so quickly because you just don't draw.
And right now we have a mirror match, which is always fun. So as you can see, I've got 2 Imperial Golem, which can go straight out my hand. I don't want to see those at all in my starting hand. But Assassination, as you're going to find out, is going to be amazing, because I get to lock an opponent and destroy it. Unfortunately, that doesn't really affect my opponent's gold cards because they can't be targeted, but hey, what can you do?
Right, so I've just played Impenetrable Fog while he has a Arc Griffin on the field and his Wild Hunt Warrior. Since it drops his Arc Griffin down to 5, next time it will do damage to both cards since they are equal strength. Oh, and Mickey's going for the big play.
No, I'm going for the starting play. I mean...
That's what I'm saying, the big play. He upsets players by playing that Marigold, or Mary Jane.
Mary Jane? I'm not playing a Mary Jane. Is that Mary Jane? That's a Venifer, sir. That's a Venifer. My Mary Jane... Actually, I do need to add that dragon to my deck at some point, actually. But anyway, moving on. You're confusing me, sir. That's not fair. So, straight in with the Assassination there, blocking his card. So, if he does pull it back from the grave, I will show you here, it will not get that lovely little attack boost up to 11, which is such a pain in the bum. But bye-bye, Cynthia.
Right. My opponent is definitely thinking how
What is it now?
Because I've literally just done a lot of damage to his Arc Griffin. Thanks to my lovely little Shield Maidens. These cards are definitely worth getting for playing Skeleton.
Oh no, yeah, Shield Maidens are absolutely amazing. They're a very powerful card. But as you can tell, if my opponent had more than 3 copies of the card he just played in his mid-row, his archery row, then I would have discarded them off of Swears. Swears? No idea how to pronounce that. Well, let's keep trying. It should be funny, right?
Right, here's a key trick to Gwen. I learned this very quickly thanks to Mickey. I have 6 cards. I'm currently winning by 4 points. My opponent has 5 cards. I'm going to pass. If my opponent wants me to win the round or to
And that's my opponent's hero. This is what I...
card.
Right, as you can just see, my opponent just played his hero. This is a big advantage for me here. Because 1, he's having a hard time making a choice. 2, if he has any Imperial Golems, they're straight out of the game for round 2 or 3. And 3, I think I had a slight lead there, meaning I'm laughing. So I now have 2 choices. I can be a complete and utter douchebag and stretch this game out a couple of turns, which is probably what I'm going to do here. Or, no, I'm going to stretch it out an extra turn or 2, because he's played his hero, so I can take my time. Play that. I really need to remove that card, Ben. I do need to remove that card. It's not been working out very well lately.
Please wait, Your Excellency.
Right, round one to me.
Falling behind.
And my opponent, I wouldn't say he took his time, but he definitely felt that one. Right, let's put this raging bear away. Right,
But
start
then again,
things off.
anyone that's watching this can turn round and agree with me how amazing it is having 2 medics in hand and my opponent playing all of his spy cards. Because it means I don't have to play mine. So I'm going to be abusing heat effect next time.
And hello to the second person watching this stream. Nice to see you.
To see you nice.
Potatoes with thick gravy.
Right, okay. So, my opponent's just got rid of my Savage Bear. That's absolutely fine. He's had to use his Marigold to do damage, which leaves it clear for my hero to bring out my big gun.
And Marigold is also a plant, guys. I need to talk occasionally, so I'm going to say something stupid. So, as you can see, my opponent's set up Resilience. And
Right.
because of my Yennefer here, every time he gets ahead, he's getting taken straight back behind, so he's going to have to play at least a 3-point card to win on this turn. After playing his hero, it's looking fairly good. He's either going to waste cards, or I'm just going to take the round here. His best bet would be to give me the rounds here, and because that way he's only going to be 1 card behind. If he tries to take the round here, he's going to be 2 cards behind, which may or may not make a huge difference, but there we go. And he wasted a Rot Tosser in order to take this round, which is absolutely horrible for him. So he's wasted 2 Rot Tossers. He wasted both of his Resilience Lockers, because you never tend to play more than 2, and he wasted his hero. So he may be starting with 11, and I may have 2 Imperial Golems in my hand. But I do have a nice little advantage here, so let's see if we can make the most of it and go from there. So this is why I keep my Mangolin here in my hand, because if he starts spying, I'm going to start slamming him for a point a turn. But more importantly, I'm going to use all of his spies against him and use them to take a big advantage. Hopefully save my hero to the 3rd game. Hopefully. But we'll see. So Clear Skies into Rally is going to get him a little bit of meat on the field. And as you can see, he has a Geralt in hand, which is a nice big advantage for me to know it actually exists.
Dum anime est, spes est.
So I'm going to take Rot Tosser, drop it here, then use his own Rot Tosser against him, dropping it right there.
Right. I'm almost sure he has played 3 copies of Binding of Frost. 1,
Check
2,
the grave, sir.
3. He's played all 3, which means now I can play my Priest of Freya this turn. And now bring out the Shield Maiden that got boosted just now, thanks to my Pirate.
Hence why I lock cards, guys. So. Oh god, my opponent has 32 points on board. That's actually relatively scary. Okay, I've noticed. I noticed, Senpai. That's actually a very big advantage he has. 34 41 over 17 plus the 5-point smash here, taking out my cow carcass, so no free McDonald's for my opponent. He misses out, not me.
And my opponent has just forfeited, realising that I must have a card in hand to take on my Berserker so I can get what's its name. And what makes me laugh, ladies and gentlemen, that was round 1. I totally forgot that was round 1. He played his entire hand, so GG to him. A little consolation. Doesn't matter if he doesn't send me any GGs. That's 6 rounds won. I get myself a little prize. 100 all. That's fine by me.
And I'm going to send out my Geralt here, and he will, once you're behind, get boosted up to 13, sticking us on a 40-40 split. And that's great, and congratulations on your win, Ben. Why can't I get the quitters?
Right, I'm going to mix it up. I've built Baron Seas around my budget Skellige deck. But let's have a bit of fun. Mickey was having some fun with Swarms. I'll show you my swarm deck.
So please don't get your swarm out in public. Last time that happened, you almost got arrested.
The Nordling's hatred for us will never wane.
Unlike Mickey, I do not play any ancient foglets, but there are cards that I play he doesn't.
Yeah, because I have the cards, he doesn't.
No, I haven't. It's just I can't be asked to put them in my deck.
Okay, so I am now at a major disadvantage, as you guys can see here, due to my opponent's field card, which is going to cause me a living bloody hell. So I might just end up losing this round here due to essentially bad luck. But I can stretch out 2 turns. Rot Tosser should also even out this field. Ideally. Probably not. Knowing my luck, I'm going to have to take this all the way into round 3. Which sucks, but there we go. That should give me the advantage here. I'm going to lose 2 points on the switch due to the fog my opponent played. And I'm just going to pass here, because fog only decreases 0 at the end of your opponent's turn, giving me the round and hopefully the advantage. So I'm looking for one of my gold cards here. Lacerate is not that gold card and is not what I'm looking for to take this game, so I'm going to mulligan and pray, and that is absolutely horrible. Right, so we're going to drop that and hope, see what my opponent draws. Unfortunately the game turned relatively quickly, which sucks, but I will take the draw here, because as I always say, a draw is better than a loss, and that is 10 to 10, and my hand wasn't as strong as I thought it was. I'm blaming it on the Imperial Golem, weakening me by those 3 points I could have used to take that last round. But what can you do?
Still, it's a draw, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
it could be worse. And
I will return my opponent's good game here. And I will gain 100 ore, and that is another keg, which, like I said, at the end of the stream I will be opening a few kegs. And that's another keg there, which I will just quickly go to purchase. So, boop, 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 shop. So, when you get the ore, what you have to do, you have to purchase a keg. A keg is 100, and as you can see, there is a long line of microtransactions here. Some not so micro. Looking at you, 60.
Goodest good soup got.
And there you go. So, we're going to open this one keg now. As you can see, I've got a few sitting up top that I've been saving, which you'll see at the end. And
Wow!
So, I've got Field Medic, Alba Spearman, which I believe I actually needed another one, but I'm not sure I'm going to be using him because he's not how I want to play the deck. But as you can see, I got a Fake Siri, that is awfully exact, a Nikon and an Olgrid.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
What, the Fake Siri?
No, I just, because the video on YouTube's a little bit delayed, I'm actually watching a couple of seconds, and yeah, you've got some really nice cards there.
Well, I'm going to take the Fake Siri because spying, strength self by 3, and a deploy ability is absolutely amazing. And I'm not opening the next keg, I'm saving them for the end.
Cheapest the barrel.
I want to save them for the end. I do. But this stream will only be going up to level 10, and that will be giving us access to the ranked mode, which then it should also again fun. We'll be seeing a lot stronger opponents, hopefully people that know what they're doing, and the people with more money than common sense and a hell of a lot more of a Gwent life than me. And yes, Flash, those are pancakes.
Right, okay, as you just saw there, guys,
Wait. Okay, I didn't switch deck, but last time I played this deck, so first things first, we get rid of the Imperial Golem. As I said before, you want that in deck, and I'm going to lose a Lacerate as well, and I will lose a third Lacerate, hopefully not picking up a Golem, because one of the things they could do is at least let you see what your third mulligan is, or your final mulligan per turn is, so you can actually see what you got stuck with. But as you can see, I have a nice lineup of spies here, I have a Lacerate, I have 2 hero abilities, And more importantly, I can stick that on the field.
It must triumph.
Although I should really start dropping my mangonel first, but hey, what can you do?
Right, I should pass there. My opponent was just literally handed me a 10 strength card for no reason at all. But he could take that out. No, he's not going to. That is absolutely fine. Round 1 goes to me. We both have 4 cards. One of his is revealed.
My turn. So, ideally, I don't actually have a very strong card to play at all at this moment in time. My opponent's locked out, but what I am going to do, I am going to play my Emissary, allowing me to log at the top card of my deck, dropping a Brigade, and then Brigade becomes 9 from you destroying a spy on the board. That is not only a spy you drop, that can be a spy your opponent drops, which is absolutely amazing. So moving on, we are currently 19 to 5. I could actually happily pass at this point, knowing there's a strong chance my opponent will have to give me a 2 to 3 card play on his behalf, or he could just play his hero, which admittedly the Northern Realms hero Foltest is probably and arguably the most powerful hero in the game right now.
Will my opponent did not take the bait.
I'm going to lacerate the... the 12. I'm going to take it to 12, although something told me I should have got rid of his resilience, but I'm not too worried about 5-point resilience, to be honest. But my opponent is going to have to make up 7 points to get ahead of me, so here's hoping this works out. And so far so good.
Mahakam! I can't be asked.
And with that amount of power-ups, I'm going to say have a good round, sir, and I'm going to take my break and my break even off of 3 cards played to your 7. Moving on. But we are going into the next game with an even advantage. I have 2 hero abilities allowing me to double my value. I just drew a Scorch and a Knight, and so, as you can see, strong hand, but I don't want the mangonel, and of course I pick up an Iron Golem off of the transaction, which kind of sucks, but what can you do? So, opponent's turn. Let's go.
Gotta tear the legs from the bahukis!
So, I believe I'm going to wait 1 turn, not playing anything stronger than 8. Because I want to see what he's going to drop on me, which should be fun. So we are, if my opponent pushes hard, I'm going to have to push back twice as hard, which is kind of sucky on my end. But there we go, this is what I was waiting on. The value is currently there. So I'm going to Scorch off here, taking out that, meaning that if we do go to a round 3, I'm not going to have to stare at it. I'm not too worried about 3 sets of, about 3 6s, because I can just be a cheeky little monster here and go hero. Drop those on a different row, and that's going to give me access to all of this beautiful stuff here, and there are absolutely no spies out of that validate set, so chances are I'm going to go with the lacerate, which is going to deal 6 points total to my opponent's overall strength, which would have made more sense than my 5, because I have no ability to force a spy right now.
My opponent's just literally played one of the cards I was on about earlier, White Frost. This is another one of the special weather cards, which, if you get your hands on,
Please wait, Your Excellency.
Applies
Falling
Frost
behind.
on 2 rows, and both of them are the same as White Frost. This card is really good. So
I hate that card, by the way, guys.
I now have to counter that with my Surging Storm, take out both his medics.
Notice! All roads lead to Nilfgaard!
I think I've lost
The
this
storm
one.
is coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
Yeah, I think I've lost this one, so if I put my Harpy here...
Never had your kneecaps broken!
35, 33, place 21... Again, yep, straight away I definitely lost this one because he's just played his ace card, Timber Eggblanche. Deploy this card against 15, the opponent draws a card and is revealed.
Hop to it, knaves!
So, play that next. Consume you, consume you, consume you.
So I'm now at -1 advantage here, so let's see how this goes out. As you saw, my opponent actually fought back relatively hard. I have a 14 point here, three medics, which is absolutely amazing, and I will be holding on to these because they are nothing but value for me, and a cat here, which is going to clone my hero's effect, which is hopefully going to be good. It should work out for me. So it's starting off with my turn, so I'm going to start off with a medic. This is going to give me access to... I think I actually want access to my emissary at this point.
A shame I have no time.
Which is going to drop me an ambassador straight from the top of my deck, powering up the third medic to 11. My opponent's currently at 20 due to my 4-point boost. I'm now 11. And with his massive advantage going down, I think I may have misplayed, but we're currently staring 29 here. So I'm going to go for my cat here.
As you wish.
And we are going to try, and that's what we want to see. That is a Yennefer. Nice advantage here. Not sure I have the turns to make the most of it, but we're going to try.
They can hide. There's no escape.
Definitely do.
Highly curious.
Of course, a mirror match. I've now brought out my Nilfgaard deck. It is not the same as Mickey since I don't have any Imperial Golems.
They're easy to get.
I know they are, Mickey. But with my deck, I abuse Rot Toss like no other.
See, Ben likes a good McDonald's. He likes to share it with his opponent. Give him a little bit of food poisoning here and there.
A shame I have no time.
Play another ambassador. And unfortunately there was nothing I could do to square this up. But hey, what can you do? Good game, opponent, good game. Now hurry up and pass one. Please don't make me sit for you being a lovely individual.
Douche.
I was trying to be nice. There we go. Thank you very much for passing. So as you can see, it's a mixed bag of fish. I mean, everyone's getting better, which is great. And we're having a lot more fun out of this. And that is 15 off. Boop. So, I have 120 ore here, so I'm going to quickly go and pick up another keg. And this is one of the kegs. What do you say, Ben? Do I open it or do I leave it sitting there? What do you think?
You can open it, you can leave it. It all depends on what you really want to do. Right, let's do that. Let's see. Ah, so you have that, do you, sir?
So, monster.
Goody.
So, right. I'm just going to say, Wild Hunt Rider, you get 3 variations on the artwork, which make for a very strong deck, same as a warrior. It's worth having those at 3 if you want to go for a Biting Frost deck. Don't forget your Iron Golems. Then I have no idea what these others are valued at right now, but they should be good. Oh god. That. But you guys can wait on those gates to be open. Nice little pile of 15 sitting there waiting for you. So we want to get to 10. In order to do that quickly, we need to win because we're gaining an extra 40% XP off of it. But we're halfway there. Oh, I'm going insane, yeah. So how are your games going, Ben? Well, I seem to be like 4 losses to 2 wins at this one, I believe.
This time.
I should really take a pen and paper with me, but
I am currently in the second set of rankings today.
yeah, same.
Second lot second lot, I'm actually finding my opponents are a little, I would say a little bit better. They're a lot better than the first lot.
Agreed.
But again, there are more, I wouldn't say adults, there are more people playing this at a higher level this time of day, because a lot of kids will be at school.
That's me.
And of course I get my lovely Chia again, like Mickey showed on his one. It abuses your hero's abilities so much.
You're one piece. Fight for it.
The best thing to do with Kahir when you're playing Nilfgaard, I'm just going to say this, you play your hero, you get into a Kahir, and you can literally get 3 to 4 goals in one turn. It is something so filthy, it makes you happy. But as you can see, I'm about to give my opponent a free McDonald's, hopefully dealing with his 3 level 8s on his offensive side of the board. Or he could just kill it with that.
Speaking of McDonald's,
he
Mickey,
ate my McDonald's. He ate my McDonald's.
He's exactly how I use this card. I combine him with my hero, who is Emilia van Eris. Basically, his ability returns an ally to my hand, and then I can replay. This is how I abuse Rot Toss to its full extent.
Who do you use, sorry? Emery?
Yeah, it's the very first hero you get.
Oh, you see, I don't play that hero.
I do because it allows me to abuse Rot Toss.
No, I play
use my medic to acquire his Rot Toss and launch a cow at his Trebuchet.
Okay,
and my opponent has made a major misplay. He has just locked his own Rot Toss. He's locked his Rot Toss on my side of the field. He should have used it on his side of the field, which means
McDonald's,
he gets a 1+1 card. So I will now replay another Rot Toss on his dwarf. So he has 1 Rot Toss on top, 1 Rot Toss on bottom. What is my opponent going to do?
The Nordling's hatred for us will never wane.
Okay, my opponent has drawn Rot Toss to his hand, and he's launched it onto my side of the field. 2 can play that game, sir. 2 can play that game. I will now play my character.
Order will triumph. It must
I was going to let Ben talk about his game. Well done,
I will take the Rot Toss that he just sent to my hand, and I will replace it on the back of his field. McDonald's are flying everywhere.
But then again, if you've ever eaten a McDonald's when schools get out, you're aware that that's actually a common occurrence.
Right, since I have 1.5, it's taking care of my row, so what I'll do, I should launch my Alvin Spearman.
Yeah, and maybe we should leave off McDonald's, as my lovely wife just said. We're probably going to get sued at this rate for slander.
Well, we do not condone anything. Long live at the end of the day,
I'm saying I like McDonald's, so does Ben. We like it so much we're sharing it with everyone.
Yes, you're the one that's saying it's handle. I just use a Rot Toss. Right, it's my turn. I have 3 cards, he has 4. Now, right now, I have a major advantage because my opponent has put that really silly ice card in the middle of my field. What I will do is I will play my ambassador in his front row and at least try and bolster my Albion Spearman. I still have 2 cold cards in my hand. I have my hero,
curious case.
and I also have my assassination. Assassination is a really good card.
It's amazing. So as you can see, I'm leading 70 to 41. Make that 48. Normally, I would actually turn around and say to my opponent that I'm perfectly happy with that, but I don't particularly want to, because if this is going to go into round 3, it's going to be a right pain in my gonads. And
Novice mistake.
Novice mistake. Right, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say thank you. There we go.
Right, here we go. My opponent has now just lowered my attack down. He's going to take out at least one of my cards.
I'm going to risk it.
I will use Assassination on the highest card he has. He has 2 cards I don't have anymore. I need him not to draw any more heroes.
My
I think I have
well.
won this round.
I'm
He
gonna
needs at least... Sorry, Nick, you were about to say.
Nope. Staring at a what is it? 1 card advantage here. I think I may be relatively comfortable with my game plan. I'm gonna send that away, and I'm gonna drop my Mangolin turn 1. Then I'm gonna go with the spies, dealing 1 damage, hopefully penetrating the armor on his Redanian elite.
Snitches get stitches.
Right, I have to pass
Very
on
good luck at that
cards.
works.
He has a 4-point advantage, so next turn it's his. I need to draw a strong hero, and I bring out my Flame Scorpion. Now I could swap this card out if I wanted to. I will keep it because it has. Oh no, I swapped it out by mistake, and I just got a spotter. This is not good for me.
And I think I may have just managed to drag victory from defeat from victory.
And I have just lost because I will play my spotter. He'll play a hero if he has one for win.
There we go. And a Geralt.
Please wait,
One
Your
medkit,
Excellency. I'm falling
and that's
behind.
GG.
It came in me.
So 25 to 34, the result was fine, and as you can see, I may have lost that one, but hopefully there will be some big changes coming our way after the next stream. Return the good game. I never send first. I never send first, due to the first few games and the fact that I get very, very sick. Well, sickened when the people spam the insulting comments on the game, because I don't like being called a novice mistake. But let's mix it up and actually play on. Monsters with Musculia Tail is not ready in any description to play.
Right.
I need to get some Okis. Reading is pretty good.
My
Total
folk have
two-
suffered much.
2 units. Lock 'em, and then damage.
Why should I?
So I'm playing a
help
level
you?
9. Obviously I'm ranked playing a Scoliotail deck.
Ooh, mirror match. I'm playing Scoliotail too.
Oh, what? Okay. So
Watch
this is a
and
card
learn.
Ben told me to get. This is Villain I probably completely and utterly butchered the name beyond any reasonable doubt. But there you go. And I don't want 3 Neckers. I don't want 2 Arcus, but I will take 2 Lights, and my opponent's taking first turn. And he is starting off with an Alvin War Dancer, which, if you're questioning why, when it is mulligans, like during the start of your turn, it can get summoned, which is very respectable. It's a easy 3 points, nothing to be laughed at early game. So, I, myself, am going to turn off with my regular Arcus, giving me access to Arcus Behemoth, hopefully on the next game if I can get any Devour moving.
Death to humans!
And there is a horse stamping on a fire that has just been played. So, I have absolutely no element, and I'm behind right now, but I'm going to play my lovely Earth Elemental here, and hopefully we're going to get moving somewhere into a positive route.
Fryhead!
Too fast for you, Dwan.
And my opponent is going to cause me some trouble here, so I'm just going to go straight for the Valentimirov. That is butchered like a rock cow from McDonald's.
Right, since I'm going first, let's play my Priestess of Freya.
Your
And weaken his dwarf by at least 1 point. Then I will play you. So from now on, again, I will do at least 1 point of damage straight away.
So I'm going to lock that, stopping from blowing up my free Arcus, and moving on.
Right, now, looking at this, my opponent has 2 dwarfs at level 7. I could play Scorch and wipe out both of them. But, I look at it like this, if I play my Shield Maidens...
My folk have suffered much.
Right, so my opponent's just played his hero. As you guys know, I like it to get played on turn 1, because it means my hero is still there and available. But I have also played a gold card. I think my opponent's now gone through 2 of them, which is great. It's fun, it's wonderful, it's a pain in my butt right now due to the amount of cards in his hand and the 20-point lead he quite comfortably has on me right now. So I'm going to play my Geralt here, down on the bottom row.
I hate portals.
But my opponent has a 11, and every monster he has currently outranks what I have. So, when my Verus to Mirth goes off, I'm going to call him Mary from now on, okay? So when my opponent Mary goes off next turn, I'm going to nuke...
The time of the white frost and
okay,
white
what was your
light
mistake?
is nigh.
My opponent's mistake was he used Scorch on my Morkavag once I brought him out with Catch and Cleanse. The problem is Morkavag comes back to the grave, from the grave, weakened by 3. He was strength 11 originally, he's now back to strength 8, so I still have a card advantage. I have to be careful though, I have Scorch in hand, and I don't want to burn myself. So at this point, let's play Emerald. Draw 2 cards. And I will discard you.
You've got the werecap dragon.
Probably my Cleaver. The reason I got rid of Cleaver, if I keep hold of my Raging Berserker, there's a good chance he will come out stronger. Right, my opponent's just made a huge mistake. He's played a potion to keep his dwarf strength. I now play Scorch, taking out his 12-cost card.
And we don't play with fireball traps, sir. They hurt people, and I don't like it, and I'm gonna eat your fireball trap. So yeah, as you can see, my opponents right now, they're trying to consolidate, taking out a group of my weaker monsters at the same time. Okay, then that's a problem. So I'm just gonna pass here. I'm gonna just let him do him because I'm not about to deal with this weather card. There's no advantage behind it. I'm already behind, and it's going to take me at least 2 plays to get back in the lead. As you can see, both heroes were played. Impenetrable Fog is lovely. Scorch is lovely, considering I'm going to be playing a low power hand right now. And then I've got First Light, which can either deal with weather, or it can deal with a rallying call, which might be worth it for me. But the Impenetrable Fog plus the 2 Drowners is going to be absolutely amazing for me, in theory and hopefully. But I do want to get myself a Monster Nest, and then I will play a Necrophage deck. Necrophage Insectoid, yeah.
I was hoping you'd say
So
that.
my opponent drops a 14, which I'm going to Scorch so fast his head spins off his shoulders. Ta-ta. So, as you can see, I still have a 1-card advantage here. This game will hopefully go into round 3, but round 3 against Scolia is fairly dangerous because they do have some high cost
Your tricks will not save
cards,
you.
and there's another 14. So at this point, I'm just going to drop a Fog on his middle row. And if he tries to play anything around the Fog, I'm going to use my Drowners to drag them straight back into the centre. And that should hopefully, give me a nice little advantage. The Geralt is not something I wanted to see, but there's also not a lot I can do about it. So I'm going to drop this. Hopefully I can get a Devoured Chain moving off of top decking. And my opponent's fully aware of my disadvantage here, so I'm going to play a rally. That's going to give me my Ekimara. Ekimara's then going to eat a Foglet, triggering that, taking me up to 16. My opponent's on 20, so unfortunately I'm going to have to play my Necker. And yep, that's just how it is, I guess. So I'm literally playing on the blade of a knife on the next turn, because I tried making changes to my monster deck. I forgot how it was originally, and it's nowhere near as good as it was to begin with. But I'm starting with 5 points on the field. I have no Devour, but I do have a Selenial Harpy, so if he does go for a field clearance, I might still manage to maintain some value here. So I'm going to finish withdrawing, and hope to God it works out in my favour. So we are going to start off with Selenial Harpy on the bottom row on the artillery, and that's going to give me a 7 points total, making it up for 12. And my opponent has 3 cards and my 1 card. He's playing Rally, which is going to net him a 5 cost on the back row. He's now mulliganing. He got no value as far as I can tell out of it, so I'm going to play my Necker. And I'm going to drag back my Ekimura to my rear row for some reason that I really don't understand. Hopefully he doesn't have a weather card, because if he does, I have just boned myself. And I can make a KSC joke for there, but I'm not going to. So he's going to deal damage, hopefully to an egg. Come on. Nope, he has locked down my Ekimura. And I'm passing turn. We are 19 to 11. My opponent plays a 5, dealing 4 damage. 5 damage, giving him the lead by 1 point, and that is GG, thank you very much. 15-16, I may have lost, but it's still a good game. And so, once again, sink a game in return, because it's only fair. That is 4 out of 12 on the second rung of the ladder. That is 15 scraps, and I am still 264 points off of hitting rank 10. So we're going, guys, we're getting there.
GG Mickey GG. Right, I've had to pass round 1, mainly because with the dwarf deck that I'm playing against, he can summon a shed load of characters by just mulling them. So round 2, it's my advantage, because not only does Skellige get stronger for every round that goes on, with a bigger hand to my disposal, he has to use more this round to win. I can easily use that to an advantage.
So my opponent's playing the Dagon deck, which loosely translate to, I'm going to use the weather to shove it up your ass sideways. So my game plan here, because as you can see I have no way of dealing with his weather, is I'm going to try and get him to play as many of his weather cards possible, hoping he doesn't have any of the double row silvers or triple row gold weathers. Selenial Harpy is going to give access, is going to give very early access to a possible swarm, so I'm going to play Yennefer in response, hopefully dragging down his overall strength.
Right, that has just ruined his plans. My opponent still has 1 character that is damaged.
Oh, it's my turn, is it? So, as you can see, I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here. I'm going to drop my Rot Tosser, because right now my primary concern is the Selenial Harpy eggs. I don't want anything coming into the early game next to from this monster deck. It's a good way to lose badly, but luckily he played his ghoul early rather than giving it the ability to start eating away at me. So, okay, on my next turn, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop this though. No, I'm going to drop a Rot Tosser again. I'm going to drop it straight onto his back row. This will give me the advantage of using my Vicavaro Medic on the next turn, allowing me to replay my Rot Tossers. And then I'm sure Ben's having a lot of fun. What's your field looking like, Ben?
Well, right now, my opponent has 4 cards on the field. He's got 1 face down, which I know is an ambush card. Yet my side of the field, I have my hero, my large werewolf, 3 shield maidens, an archer, and a skirmisher. At the moment, I'm winning by 10 points, but anything can go. I must win this round to get a chance next round.
Nilsgaard!
So let's play you next.
Unfortunately, I'm taking a -1 here. My opponent hasn't played his Dagon nor any weather cards, which is either really good or really bad. But there we go. So we're going into advantage on myself. And of course, as per every time I play this game, look what's in my hand. It is a golem. And luckily it didn't go through for further abuse on my end.
Okay, my opponent has literally just played the most annoying card he could have. He has played a higher vampire with random 3 bronze cards and then consume.
That can go there. So what I want right now is my opponent to go ballistic and just overplay every card he's got. As you can see, he's starting off with his weather, which is perfectly fine. As long as he's out of the way by the end of the game, then I'm laughing and it's not gonna be so lame.
A highly curious case.
Haha, I'm a pirate. So I'm gonna take this lineal harpy here, taking the 2 eggs for myself, and taking them into round 3 with me. Best case scenario, ice giant. This is all fun. I'm not expecting to win this round, but I do want my opponent to play as much as humanly possible for me. So we're gonna keep the pressure up for the next 2 to 3 turns, so my opponent keeps playing cards. But I need that Dagon played, and Dagon is played on the top row. I'm not going to have my harpies on the next game, which kind of sucks, but you know what, it is what it is. I'm at -1 advantage here, so I'm going to push a little bit harder because my opponent can't let me take the game. Well, he can't let me take the round, because if I take the round, I'll take the game.
And that's GG to my opponent. He has won round 2. That was a difficult fight. That is the problem with dwarf decks. They can seriously overpower you.
Yes, they can.
And I am now 862 out of 1200. I am almost again to rank 10. And as Mickey stated earlier in the video, we are going for rank play, which is level 10. I've just noticed in my little favourite corner of the screen, I have 205 iron ore. Let's open some kegs.
A shame I have no
You
time.
make smash shoot. Right, so I have 4 common cards. And all duplicates, which is fine. That's an extra 20 scrap. And then I get 3 rare cards. I can choose 1 of each. So I will go with this Clan Drumar's Shield Maiden. The main reason for that, it's the 3rd part of the artwork. I have the other 2. This was number 3. A good idea is if there's 3 cards you don't really want, use that as like scrap. Shoot! Come on, give me that card.
Right, as you can see, I took this round, but I made my opponent pay to keep playing the rounds. So hopefully, playing in that way isn't gonna punish me too badly. I do not want my Mangonel. I didn't want Lacerate either, but I do have some spot destruction. So if he's playing Fog, I can deal with a Foglet. If he's playing Arcus, I can deal with the Arcus. But I'm going to begin my turn by playing my hero, summoning 2 Iron Golem and dropping my hero to the bottom rung. And that's hopefully not going to give me access to anything I particularly want, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, game. So
Notice!
drop that there and then try a little because it didn't turn out the way we wanted. So my opponent got Dagon with his 7 point. It's going. He's probably going to be biting Frost onto the top row. I have no way of dealing with that right now. But what I can do, I'm going to lacerate his little knight there, and hopefully he's got something with some value. I'm still waiting for that value, and all I can really do, I'm just going to scorch his 3-pointer. This is GG, my plan didn't work out. I have yet to beat a weather deck, by the way, so... Yeah, no, I'd lost anyway. That's awesome. So, I was actually hoping to come across my cafe. That's what I was hoping for. It didn't work out in my favour.
Alright, here we go. So, it's Nifgar versus Skelligan. Skelligan are going first, so I shall play my Conjurer in the middle row.
So I sent my opponent a GG, a good game, give him some scrap, and as you can see, Melina is a slut. So we are going to go in for a monster deck this time, because we want rank 10. I want my level 10, I want my competitive game set up, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time building a couple of powerful decks, and then hopefully we will be restreaming either later today or tomorrow, depending on how the day turns out. Worst case scenario, you're going to see some ranked matches from Overwatch, and we all love those. You get to rip their living hell out of me, because unfortunately I main Mercy and Orion, so it's a good laugh. You guys should come on. Really good chat, really good banter. Right, if that comes up later, it should be great. How you doing there, Ben? You hit 10 yet? And this is what's on about Fault Test. What a pain in the ass.
Well, I'm almost at rank 10. I am just waiting for my opponent to finish his turn. Thank you, sir. Now say goodbye to your Rot Toss that you just launched at me. I will play my Archer. I do 1 point of damage to your Rot Toss, 1 point of damage to my 2 Berserkers.
Crush those
So I
vermin!
have 2 Raging Bears and 1 less Rot Toss.
So my opponent played Fault Test. What this is going to do, every card in his hand and deck, I think it's every bronze. Nope. It's going to boost them by 1 point, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's no. There's a reason people play this deck, and that's because it's an easy win. You play it, you forget about it.
Northern Realms are pretty much a really easy deck to master.
They're budget filth. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Alright, my opponent is thinking. He's got 30 seconds to make a move or he loses a card in his hand. Good sir, if you're not going to do anything, pass or lose a card.
One thing I will mention about this game, the servers do get jammed very, very quickly. So please always be aware of that. You will have days where sometimes you just can't get on. But in response I blame the children.
And then I'll play the Rot Toss as a Blood Curdling Roar. Thank you sir for an additional bear.
And I'm taking round 1 there, which is good enough for me. And moving on. Ideally, if you want easy wins, guys, play this game in the evening. That's when the children get on. And parents don't pay for card games very often. So, a little bit of free advice there. See, we're brave, you see. We're bringing you games against, hopefully, adults who actually seem to have a relative amount of intelligence behind them. And also a bank account. All the same as any beta, this is pay to win. Or work really, really hard to win.
I don't want to die. Nice mess you've got here.
So as you can see, my opponent just walked into a mid-road fog, which is absolutely amazing. Sitting on 2 Neckers in hand. No, my opponent played both his hero and one of his golds last turn. Can't remember. Trish Marigold deals 5 damage. It's great and all, but I still got some value out of it, so you can't really complain. I can't play Scorch this turn, but what I can
sir.
do,
GG.
I'm going to drop this guy here. He's going to deal 6 damage randomly spread across my opponent's board, and that is Drug. He is a Spectre, and he is a really good monster if you can get your hands on him. So I'm going to go all out this time, knowing my opponent's going to have to go all out in kind to match me. I'm sitting on 1-0 poop button, which is my hero here. My opponent's going to redeploy for another 3-point boost, 1-point boost, giving him 10. So I have Scorch, which will take out his 10, opening up there, and moving forward. My opponent's then going to counter with another 10. I'm seeing a really good method here. I think my opponent
told you so, you idiot.
This monster's going to clone his 10,
no time to whimper.
10, putting him on to 28 to my 36. I'm going to play my Necker, dragging his 12 to the back row, and that's going to break up the ability to play trio. Hopefully he plays a Geralt, which is going to put him just behind me here, and then I'm going to play my hero here. And what I'm going to do with my hero, I'm going to take my high value cards in case of a weather storm. Unfortunately, I can't devour goals because they can't be targeted by abilities until demoted. That puts me on a 6-point lead against 3 cards.
Troops,
so that is a Danian soldier. I'm going to... I don't know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put myself ahead, limiting his card advantage from now. I'm going to drag this guy to the front row, because I can. And moving on. So, I'm currently leading 54 to 47. My opponent has 2 cards advantage in hand over me.
But we're
have
broke
no
as
cards in my
shit
hand. He
peddlers.
plays a 3, allowing him to clone his Redanian soldier, which is going to drop in as a 63 armor, and that's going to give him the win and the the round win and the 1 card advantage going into round 3. So that was 54 to 56. As you can see, Northern Realms can build very quickly right now because of that hero. So I have an Arcus Behemoth, which isn't any good to me. Hopefully I get slightly more lucky with... Nope, Demirium Shackles is not going to give me the win. That is GG, and moving on. I'll tell you what though, Ben, I've just lost 6 rounds in a row, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. I know that sometimes it can be really frustrating to actually win games or win rounds. I mean, right now I'm playing against a reasonably good Nilfgaard deck. He's used his medics to pretty much take some of my strongest hero or strongest spares out of my grave.
Yeah, I've done that.
The only thing I may do is use my other Freya to try and get an emissary out and try and use it to my advantage. He's done the right thing. He is locked down my Morgvac. If he's in my grave locked,
my men know
I
the
cannot
meaning of
resurrect
sacrifice. I shall not repeat Emir's mistakes.
Okay, right, so 36 to 36, right, so I will play my other modern Freya, and I'll play your emissary, put it on your side of the field.
One last right, and that is a good
and then play a... I will play my Tuscan Skirmisher.
Yeah. We get one for Logan.
Ooh. Destroy the highest unit.
Sorry, honey, what's the issue here? But yeah, she does look a lot like Logan.
Dang, my opponent has won that round. That will give me 43. No, I'm not even going to risk it. I'm going to keep 1 card back. He wins that round. I could bring it up to 43. My opponent still has one card in hand. It's probably a character card.
So, turn 1, all I can really do is wait for my opponent to actually play a card. This is a mirror match, I think.
Prepare for war.
And he's going to reveal 3 cards in my hand, because why wouldn't you? So he has seen my Geralt, my power up, and my spot destruct, and one of my spot destruction cards. I'm going to then play
Your
my
humble
emissary, hopefully getting not what I wanted,
triumph.
but I
It must
did make
triumph.
my counter to these decks, which I don't tend to have, but what can you do? Moving on with my life and crying a little bit inside.
Coming!
And my opponent has... Oh, no. I get a bear on my side of the field.
Nilfgaard!
I still lose by 1 point. GG, GG. So that's 1 round to me, 2 rounds to him. I don't mind. So they did a good game.
I'm still crying a little bit inside. So, I'm going to play Scorch, dealing 20 points of overall damage to my opponent and 10 to myself, leaving me with a 3-point lead here. Round 1, that was actually relatively good value for the Scorch. My opponent is playing Lightning Bolt, which is a right pain in my bum. But, oof, how do I want to go about this? I'm just going to play my emissary here, buffing my ally here by 10, putting me onto a 4-point lead. And then he eats that, dropping his bear. So...
Your humble servant.
I did have it right. Cool.
It came in there!
So, looks like I am running out of time here, so after this game I'm going to open my kegs, and we're going to be slightly short, but rest assured by the time I come back with the next stream we'll be up for ranked match.
I am no Nilfgaardian.
So, as you can tell, my opponent can now see every card in my hand. Not that it makes me feel uneasy or anything, you know, it's just a massive advantage. But, boom. Lock and destroy his bear, giving me a 10-point lead here. And depending on how well he's got out of his kegs, we're about to see how he does. So, that is a Scorch. Putting my opponent into a 2-point lead here. I'm just going to play another emissary. Powering up my guy to 19, putting me into a 6-point lead. And I will admit this is a very, very, very painful first turn for both of us. We're both playing everything. God. So I'm going to play my Garrick here. This is going to even the field onto 1919. My hero is still available for the next turn, so we are going to see what happens here. What I am going to do, while my opponent makes his mind up, I'm going to check his grave, and as you can see there is plenty here for me to play with. And as such, I'm going to take the bear he discarded earlier and shove down his throat. 29 to 32. Cards are evenly played. My opponent's either going to pass here, giving me the win, or he's going to force me to play deeper, which I don't really have many options into doing.
Alright, now my opponent, he'll play his hero first. Northern Realms, using this hero will always go to hero first.
Your humble
Main reason is that makes every card in his hand and deck +1. Similar to like Skeleton, who gets stronger every round. That will give you at least a 1 advantage over your opponent. It's always handy when it comes in. Now, since I don't have a lot to do, I will play my hero. and get my werewolf out, at least.
So as you can see, my opponent's passing here. I'm going to do the same. I'm taking the win on that round with an 11-point lead. We're going to mulligan. We are both going to be left with 3 cards to play total. My opponent's taking advantage with a 12-point bear due to the perseverance he drops on their last turn. So we're about to see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to take this round, which is looking fairly positive. Round 1's going to be Yennefer, hopefully powering down the stronger monsters to a point where I can take full advantage of them. Turn 2 is going to be my hero, and then turn 3 is going to be Kahir. The reason I'm doing it in this way is so I can guarantee the 9 points from the golems getting played. Give me the win, give me the win.
Gravy.
So as you can see, my opponent is currently leading 19-4. 3 golems, hero into the middle row, and then that is going to allow me to play either a lacerate or an emissary. I'm going to go with the emissary at this point.
Your humble
dropping him there, allow me to drop a rot tosser on my side of the field, and then putting a McDonald's Happy Meal on my opponent's middle row.
Not sponsored by McDonald's. Right, so right now I've just had to ditch 2 cards. I've got my third Freya card. Ooh, very nice, very nice. He's done very well there. The reason I did that,
do what I must.
I played my first Margin Freya, which brings out my Raging Berserker.
A highly curious case.
And if he doesn't do anything sensible this turn... Okay, so his cards now gain +1. Right.
So I'm leading by 10 points here. Technically 11. My opponent's going to drop. He's then going to drop a bear. If he drops a bear, he takes the win here. But I can't deal 3 points of damage a turn. I pass, my opponent passes, and my opponent takes the win by 2 points due to a big scary bear. I should have took the bear. Right, so we are going into round 3 here, and so I have a 7-pointer here. My opponent is going to play Rally, netting him a emissary, putting 2 points onto my side of the field. I'm going to say thanks because he called me an arse, and then I'm going to drop my swears, completely butchered the name again, and that is 9-0 to me. So just remember, don't ever go that heavily into round 1. That is 2 points on my crown, at least staying even. Waiting for my opponent to think good game. That is 15 all. My opponent is obviously not going to send me a good game. That's 72, and I am 1 point off being level 10. 1 point. 1 point. 1199 out of 1200 experience. So, when do you get Logan out better? Okay, so I'm gonna open up my booster pack, my card kegs now. And so, let's open up these kegs, shall we? So, Thunder, Black Infantry Arbalist, Arcus Venom, and an Alchemist. All of those are going to get redrawn. And then, oh, then I have a Scourge, a Vess, and a Dennis Cranmer.
Right, so let's have a butchers. You have a Universal, Northern Realms. Again, like you say to me, what is what you can use? What is something you need?
I need to increase my Northern Realms, and she is showing a lot more flesh than I'm comfortable with, so I'm going with her, I think. Oh, there you go. I picked a Scourge anyway in the next pack, Ben. That worked out a treat then.
Oh, very nice, very nice. See, that's what I like. You can actually tell which cards you're going to get. Very luckily, because they highlight. So if you open a keg and you get a purple, you're going to get what's his name in the field. It's really cool. So Fog is the strongest unit, which would be those. My opponent has just forfeited. He's just realised he cannot beat me on round 1. I will send a GG as a thank you. That is 2 wins, so I get a 6-point reward, and only 7 rounds won.
Look, more
so I've got 15 more meteor powder, and I am now only 200 points away from ranking up to rank 9, rank 10.
As you guys can probably tell about the cards I'm picking here, I do like a nice little bit of swarm. So, we've got Immune Boost, the First Life, Ballistae, and Commando Neophyte. Which are all respectable cards. Got through those, don't have one of those. There we go. Now the reason I'm taking up these random cards that I don't have any of is quite simple, so I can play them later at a lower cost. Torrential Rain I have loads of, and
I'm sorry to say, Mickey, they don't go at a lower cost. They actually remain at the same cost as you make as creating a card. Oh, nice one, mate. Nice one.
Oh, what, the giant toad? I'm tempted to get that.
You got a giant toad, and you got an Ordering.
I'm going for the giant toad. That's going to be more use for my Devour deck when I actually get around to finishing it. So, is it going to give me an order?
Right, one thing I will say before I end the stream, a lot of people were probably wondering how are we acquiring our hero cards. At the beginning of the game, before you start playing multiplayer, word of advice. Very nice one. You've got the card which really is good. That is a really good card. First things first, going for challenges. You'll be given fundamentals, which gives you the basis of how to play the game, and you get rewards for doing it. Then you've got deck management. Again, it teaches you how to build decks, how to use the shop and card craft. That gives you some more rewards. Then you get your faction challenges. You may need to start building decks to beat the challenges, but every 3 challenges you do, you get the hero that you play against. So, for example, I've completed Northern Realm, Skedagar, Soliatail, and Nilfgaard. So I have all the heroes required. Right now, I am 5 out of 6 on monsters. So I have an Unseen Elder, but I do not have a Dagon. Dagon is really, really annoying because he is a weather deck.
Yep. If you want a easy way to win, play a weather deck. Trust me. It seems to beat most people relatively easily. That's definitely worth consideration.
As my friend Mickey has completed his Dagon's Cultist challenge.
I've actually completed all the challenges, so hindsight.
I'm stuck on the last one.
I don't blame you, Dagon's a bit of a pain, so.
All I will say is have fun, enjoy the game, don't get disheartened. Like any good card game, it takes time to actually get used to it. If you've played The Witcher 3, it's similarly built on this system, so you have an idea of how it works and how it plays. But again, just have fun. You can be a complete free-to-play game. Ooh, nice bear, Mickey.
Okay.
It can be a nice free-to-play if you want to, but it is down to you if you can afford to spend money on it. If you can spend money on it, it gives you a chance to get more kegs.
It'll give you a jump start.
Hopefully they'll improve the financial system of this, because scrap and iron are a a nightmare to acquire. You have the new stuff, Meteor Powder, they've released. What Meteor Powder does is it can make a normal card into an animated card. I didn't realise this because I thought it was just another way of buying cards. So I actually transmuted my Earth Elemental into my Earth Elemental Animators.
Nice.
Which we call premium cards. It's a really nice card. I mean, the animations are really cool. And as you can see, the higher tier cards cost more. So for example, this Water Hag normally would cost you 200 scrap to craft. It would cost you 300 to transmute it into a Water Hag primary. Or you could just buy the primary card straight away for 800 scrap. That's the expensive route, but if you have the scrap you can do straight away, then fine. You have your gold tier cards, which again cost a lot more. And as you can see, an original card will cost you 800, whereas the transmuted will cost you 1,600. So again, it's down to you. Do you use the extra meteorite powder, or do you use the scrap? Now, you'll notice there's something called mill down in square bar. What that means is you can dismantle cards into scrap and powder, depending on rarity, and be able to purchase and create other cards. Now, you unlock that at rank 3.
Right, and that's the end of my stream, so like, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think. If there's anything you want to see, let me know, and please feel free to finish off your day by watching the end of Ben's stream where he explains the brief mechanics of the game, and I will see you later for my last 1 point towards my rank 10, hopefully a couple of ranked games, and yep, hopefully a new deck. So have a good day, ta-ta, and bye-bye.